Are you ready to dive into a world that most of us, I think, only see in movies?
Yeah.
It's the world of outlaw motorcycle clubs.
Right.
Today, we are taking you deep into the heart of Quebec Biker War.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah. It's a brutal conflict that shook Canada for almost a decade.
A long time.
Yeah.
You might think that this is just a story about guys in leather jackets.
Right.
Fighting over territory. But
Yeah.
trust me, it goes way deeper than that.
Okay.
This war had a real impact.
Yeah.
Reaching beyond the biker world and into the lives of everyday people.
And we're going to unravel this whole saga based on some source material that reads like a movie script.
Right.
Think betrayals, power struggles, and shocking violence.
Wow.
Yeah, it's about the Quebec Biker War. And let me tell you, this story is wild.
It's a classic tale of ambition and power.
Yeah.
Played out in the gritty underworld of organized crime.
Okay.
And it all starts with a shocking event that sent tremors through the biker world.
Oh, okay.
The Lennoxville Purge of 1985.
Ooh.
Imagine this. 5 members of the Hells Angels.
Okay.
Brutally murdered by their own brothers inside their own clubhouse.
Whoa, talk about a betrayal. That's like the ultimate taboo, right?
Exactly.
You don't kill your own.
The biker code, this unwritten set of rules that governs these clubs,
Right.
is all about loyalty and brotherhood.
Yeah.
But here's the thing.
Okay.
The Lennoxville Purge, while seemingly upholding the code by punishing rogue members,
Right.
actually exposed the cracks in this facade of brotherhood.
Oh.
It revealed the simmering power struggles beneath the surface and set the stage for even more violence.
It's almost like a twisted version of cleaning house, but it just created more chaos.
Precisely. And in the aftermath of this massacre, we see the emergence of 2 key players.
Right.
Salvatore Cazzetta and Maurice Boucher,
Okay.
both members of the SS Motorcycle Club at the time.
Okay.
Now, their reactions to the Lennoxville Purge couldn't have been more different.
Okay.
Cazzetta was horrified, seeing it as a violation of everything the biker code stood for.
Right.
Boucher, on the other hand, was almost impressed by the sheer audacity of it.
Wow.
His only criticism being that the killers didn't go far enough.
So right from the start, you can see the seeds of conflict being sown.
Yeah.
These guys have completely opposite views on how to handle things.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's these contrasting personalities and ambitions that will eventually fuel the war.
Okay.
Boucher rises through the ranks of the Hells Angels,
Okay.
driven by a ruthless desire for control.
Right.
Cazzetta, disillusioned by the bloodshed and betrayal,
Yeah.
forms his own club, the Rock Machine.
Okay.
And here's where it gets interesting.
All right.
The Rock Machine initially chose to operate under the radar.
Wait, so they weren't rolling around in those flashy vests with their club logo?
Right.
Why not?
It was a strategic move.
Yeah.
A sign of their understanding of the Hells Angels' power at the time.
All right.
They even avoided wearing identifying vests,
Wow.
opting instead for rings with an eagle insignia.
Interesting.
They were basically trying to stay under the radar and build their strength without attracting too much attention.
That's actually pretty clever, but it seems like flying under the radar wasn't going to work forever.
You're right. As the Hells Angels tightened their grip on Montreal's criminal underworld in the early 90s,
Okay.
tensions began to rise.
Right.
Boucher, always eager to assert his dominance, sent a message to the Rock Machine,
Okay.
essentially telling them to stop calling themselves a motorcycle club.
Wow.
It was a blatant power play, and the Rock Machine's response was anything but submissive.
I bet.
They decided to step out of the shadows and into the spotlight.
Okay.
Donning vests, emblazoned with their logo, a direct challenge to the Hells Angels' authority.
So it's like they went from trying to be stealthy to saying, hey, we're here and we're not backing down.
Exactly. It was a clear declaration of war.
Wow.
And things escalated quickly from there.
Okay.
Cazzetta got arrested on drug charges in 1994,
Oh.
creating a power vacuum that Boucher was all too eager to exploit. He issued an ultimatum. Anyone selling drugs in Montreal had to buy from the Hells Angels.
Wow.
The Rock Machine, of course, refused.
That sounds like a recipe for disaster. What happened next?
The first shots were fired in July 1994.
Okay.
Pierre Daoust was gunned down in his motorcycle shop.
Oh, wow.
Days later, the Rock Machine was caught en route to attack a Hells Angels puppet club.
Hold on, a puppet club?
Yeah.
What's that?
Think of it as a smaller club, controlled and manipulated by the Hells Angels.
Right.
They act as foot soldiers doing the dirty work and expanding the Hells Angels' reach.
Okay.
The Rock Machine was aiming to strike a blow at the heart of the Hells Angels operation, but their plan was foiled.
So things were getting really heated.
Yeah.
Did Boucher just declare all-out war at that point?
He called an emergency meeting with Hells Angels leaders from across Quebec.
Okay.
Some chapters, like the one in Sherbrooke, were hesitant about going to war.
Right.
But ultimately, they all fell in line.
Wow.
The Quebec Biker War had officially begun.
Oh, boy.
That does not sound good.
What followed was a period of intense violence, the likes of which Quebec had never seen. We're talking bombings, shootings, assassinations. It was a full-blown war playing out on the streets. And it wasn't just limited to the biker gangs themselves.
That's what's so terrifying about this whole thing, innocent people getting caught in the crossfire.
Right.
And one story that really highlights the tragic consequences of this conflict is the death of 11-year-old Daniel Desrochers.
Yeah. This event was a turning point, really bringing home the horrifying reality of this war.
Yeah.
Daniel was just a kid playing in his neighborhood when a car bomb exploded nearby.
Oh, my gosh.
He was hit by shrapnel and died 5 days later.
I can't even imagine what his family went through. It's just heartbreaking. And to think this wasn't just some random act of violence.
Yeah.
It was a direct result of this biker war that was spiraling out of control.
Absolutely. And Daniel's death had a profound impact on public opinion.
People were outraged, demanding that the authorities do something to stop the bloodshed. There was this sense that the government had turned a blind eye to these biker gangs for too long,
Right.
allowing them to operate with impunity.
So Daniel's death really forced the government to take notice and finally step up their efforts to combat organized crime.
You could say that it was a catalyst for change,
Okay.
leading to the passage of tougher laws targeting organized crime groups.
Okay.
Bill C-95 in 1997 and Bill C-24 in 2001.
Okay.
Increased penalties for crimes committed by members of these groups, making it much harder for them to operate.
So in a way, this young boy's tragic death led to real change in the fight against organized crime.
Yes, it was a turning point. But even with these new laws, the violence didn't stop overnight. The war raged on both sides, becoming more and more ruthless in their attacks in a desperate attempt to gain an advantage. The Rock Machine made a bold move in 1999.
Oh.
They formed an alliance with another powerful outlaw motorcycle club, the Banditos.
Now, the Banditos, they weren't just some local gang, right? I've heard of them before. They're like a big deal.
Oh yeah, the Banditos are a major player in the outlaw biker world. They have chapters all over the world,
Wow.
giving the Rock Machine access to resources and manpower they didn't have before. This wasn't just about adding numbers.
Right.
The Banditos brought experience, strategy.
Wow.
They even brought in Edward Winterhalder, a high-ranking Bandito from outside of Quebec, to lead the fight against the Hells Angels.
Wow. So they were really bringing in the heavy hitters. This alliance must have been a serious game changer. It definitely shifted the balance of power. The Hells Angels, who had been used to dominating the scene, now faced a more formidable opponent. This alliance brought a whole new dimension to the war, making it even more complex and dangerous. So you have this bloody conflict raging on innocent lives being lost, and now the Rock Machine has teamed up with this international powerhouse, the Banditos. How did it all end? Did the violence just go on forever? It seems like this biker war was spiraling out of control. Would anything ever stop it?
Well, you have to remember that law enforcement hadn't been sitting idly by during all of this. The Quebec Biker War became a major focus for police agencies across Canada. They knew they had to do something to stop the violence and dismantle these criminal organizations.
So what did they do? Was there a big crackdown?
You could call it that. In 2001, after years of investigation and intelligence gathering, police launched a massive operation that targeted the Hells Angels. Think coordinated raids, hundreds of arrests.
Yeah.
It's a huge undertaking involving multiple agencies working together.
Wow, they really brought the hammer down. Did they manage to catch the big players like Mom Boucher?
Oh yeah, they got Boucher, along with hundreds of other Hells Angels members and associates, was arrested. This operation effectively crippled the Hells Angels in Quebec, cutting off the head of the snake, so to speak. And with their leadership in disarray, the war finally came to an end.
So after nearly a decade of violence and chaos, it was law enforcement that finally brought peace to the streets, but wasn't without a cost, right?
Absolutely. The Quebec Biker War left a lasting scar on the province and on Canada as a whole. Over 160 people were killed, countless others were injured, and the psychological impact on communities caught in the crossfire was immeasurable.
It's a stark reminder of the dark side of human nature. The greed, the violence, the desire for power.
It also revealed the complex dynamics of organized crime and the challenges law enforcement faces in combating it. The Quebec Biker War forced the authorities to adapt, to develop new strategies and tactics for dealing with these sophisticated criminal organizations.
And what about biker culture itself? Did the war change how people view motorcycle clubs?
Definitely. The war, and especially the death of Daniel Desrochers, shattered the image of biker gangs as harmless rebels. It showed the public the brutal reality of their criminal activities and the threat they posed to society. Some motorcycle clubs tried to distance themselves from the violence, emphasizing the brotherhood and camaraderie aspects of biker culture. But the public's perception had been irrevocably changed.
So even though the war is over, its legacy lives on. What do you think is the most important takeaway from all of this?
I think it's crucial to remember that this wasn't just a story about bikers fighting each other. It was a story about the devastating impact of organized crime on communities, about the human cost of violence and greed. And it's a reminder that we must remain vigilant in the fight against these criminal elements, working to ensure that something like the Quebec Biker War never happens again. You know, I had never heard of it before coming into this, and I bet a lot of our listeners haven't either. A really, really interesting and often overlooked chapter in Canadian history, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. Definitely overlooked. A lot of people I don't think even realize it happened, and the scope of it, too.
Yeah. And I know that you're really interested to kind of learn more about this whole conflict.
Okay, book recommendations. Sounds like a good starting point.
Yeah, and one of the authors actually lived through it. Whoa, hold on. Someone who was actually there in the middle of the biker war. 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Exactly. He understands the biker world, but he also sees the bigger picture, you know?
Yeah.
And that dual perspective, that's gold.
Yeah, that's got to give him some really interesting insights. That's incredible. We're talking firsthand accounts, right?
Yeah, talk about a front row seat to history.
You better believe I'm taking notes on these recommendations. This is gold, man.
I know, right? So the first book is called Searching for My Identity.
Okay, Searching for My Identity. Interesting title.
Yeah, and it actually comes in 2 volumes.
2 volumes. Wow, this must be pretty in-depth. Sounds like this guy had a lot to say.
And the second book is The Assimilation.
The Assimilation. Okay.
And get this. Both books are written by Edward Winterhalder.
Edward Winterhalder. All right, got it. So he's our guy, our insider. He's the one who was there living this whole thing.
He's the one. And Will the Clerk co-authored The Assimilation with him.
If you get a chance, check out those books too. See what you think, and let us know.
Yeah, we always love to hear your thoughts.
Always.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the Quebec Biker War. Until next time,
keep those engines running.